welcome back. It's still Monday, April 6th, 2015. This is the morning edition on I24 News. I am still Meredith Ross, and thank you for staying with us. Now, dubbed by some as the Palestinian Woody Allen, Jordanian-born filmmaker and comedian Ghazi Albuliwi's movies take a unique look at the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, attempting to find humor in an issue taken extremely seriously in these parts. The director of the 2013 Peace After Marriage and 2002 West Bank, Brooklyn, Albuliwi is now in Israel filming a new movie. He is now with me to tell us all about it. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. So we'll get to the new film towards the end of the segment. But but the Palestinian Woody Allen, I'm finding this term really interesting. Do you think that's because you both grew up in Brooklyn?
I think that's it. I think it comes also because of the one-liners. I tend to put a few one-liners in my films. Come from stand-up, so I think the one-liners seem to be original enough that critics kind of feel that they're Woody Allen-ish in nature, which isn't a bad comparison. I'm not like downplaying it, but it's a really not. And I think there's the neurotic side of things, though I'm not really purposely neurotic, but I think anyone who lives in New York, eventually you're neurotic because there's so many things in New York that make people go nuts. So I think that combination makes the critics kind of hone in on the fact that, you know, New Yorker, neurotic, funny, you know, making romantic movies, you know, Woody Allen.
Yeah, and you know, you've said in an interview, which I found was hilarious, that basically, you know, anyone who lives in Brooklyn long enough eventually turns into a neurotic Jew.
Everyone, not just Brooklyn, New York in general.
New York in general.
It's you know, it's a neurotic city. You know, it's a neurotic city.
So you draw not only from the city, but also from him. And also, I mean, I've taken a look at your films that are based in New York, and it does kind of have a Woody Allen feel to it. That, you know, characters wandering the streets, overanalyzing perhaps certain scenarios. It does kind of have that twist to it.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, because he's done it. He was the first to do it, so there's always going to be that comparison to Woody Allen. But I mean, I know for me, the films that I write and the movies that I act in are really just a reflection of me. And I don't really sit down and go, I'm going to make a Woody Allen type movie. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess me and him have a lot of things in common without me purposely trying to, you know, be like him. But that's just me. I mean, everything in my film usually tends to come straight out of my life.
But you weren't born in Brooklyn.
I was born in...
What's the journey that you took at a very young age to...
The journey was my parents hooking up. I have no idea how they hooked up. They had probably hooked up in a refugee camp somewhere, you know. And I was born in a Jordanian refugee camp in the city of Zarga. And then my parents shipped me off to Brooklyn when I was like 2 months old, and that's where I grew up.
So you've been, I mean, as long as
I'm a New Yorker, you know. I mean, the whole Arab thing for me, it's a part of who I am. It's my like roots, but I'm an outsider when I, you know, go anywhere in the Middle East. You know, it's like it is really like a Brooklyn guy going to Israel or a Brooklyn guy going to Jordan, because, you know, everyone takes advantage of me when I come here. So it's like I'm totally a tourist when I come here. So it's.
So for our viewers, we do have a clip of the trailer of of one of your films. So let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Erica. I'm getting married.
Yani she's from Palestine?
We call it Palestine. She doesn't.
An Israeli, the occupiers of our people.
Hello.
Palestinian marrying an Israeli is wrong for them.
Okay, so this is just a tidbit of that film. So you play this guy named Arafat. So how much of your actual life do you pull and you know, inspire this character?
I mean, like, there's this sexual hang-up stuff, which for me in New York is true. Like, especially like after 9/11, it's just like it sucked after 9/11. I mean, I joke about it, but it's really true. I mean, like, my penis has been on death row for like 14 years, literally 14 years.
I'm sorry about that.
I mean, it's not
That's
even.
a shame.
It's just no. It's true. It's like it really sucks right now to be Arab, to be Muslim, because, you know, my culture, my, you know, religion. Not that I'm very religious, has been hijacked.
No,
so like so totally. So like it really sucks. You know, you kind of have to kind of do this like. What do you call it? You have to kind of like tell people, well, I'm Muslim, but I'm not really religious. You got to give them the precursor to that. And, you know, it's tough. It's really tough. So, like, a lot of the things in the movie are pretty true in the root of where they come from.
And do the parents, I mean, the parents who are super traditional Arab parents, are they similar to your parents in real life?
I mean, the parents in the film, don't even come close to my parents. My parents are just completely certifiably, like, really nuts, whacked out. So they're totally whacked out. I mean, I can sit here and tell you stories and you would probably think I made it up. But they're like really neurotic, and they just stay home, watch Al Jazeera, and like argue about who has control of the remote. I mean, that's like their day. So I try to, not visit as often as I should, in there. But that's just who they are. And then, like, in terms of the character itself, like me as a person, I put myself in my films, So it's dating in New York is really difficult, in general. Just like what I hear about in Tel Aviv, dating in Tel Aviv is quite difficult here. So it's like Law of the Jungle stuff. And if you're like walking around with like the whole Muslim scarlet letter thing right now, I mean, like every time ISIS like beheads someone, I always say that's 6 months where I'm not gonna have sex in New York.
Way.
Yeah, I can like literally.
Correlated?
No, literally, I like my penis is a hostage. It should be reading a hostage letter. My penis should be reading a hostage letter. Literally, that should be the next hostage video that comes out of ISIS is them with my, them behind me, my penis reading a hostage letter. Really.
How many times can you say penis in this interview?
So many times. So many. I can literally sit here and say penis all day.
I love it. Now, I hear that you've had some pretty interesting experiences on El Al flights and with security here in Israel. Being an Arab American, what's that been like?
Because Al Al has like amazing security. So the first time I flew Al Al was when I did the Jerusalem Jewish Film Festival. Go up to the ticket counter, gave him my ticket. They literally thought I was on the wrong counter, and they were trying to point me towards Saudi Arabian Airlines.
Oh my God.
And then they start checking you because trust me, no Arab flies El Al. I don't think so. I mean, they might put them with the luggage and stuff, but to be up there in first class is like a whole thing for them. It was like a big thing. So. And then in the middle of it, getting woken up to go pray in the back of the plane because they assumed I was Jewish. So I did that. I actually went along because, you don't want to break your cover at that point halfway through the flight. But a lot, it's fish out of water stuff for me because people don't assume that I'm usually Arab. They kind of think that I have some sort of Yemenite thing going on. I have no idea.
I mean, many, Israelis and Arabs share the same background.
Listen, as long as I can meet an Israeli girl, I don't really care. I mean, whatever helps, really, honestly, whatever helps. So you're here in Israel now working on a new film, which is sort of a sequel to Peace After Marriage. So what exactly is the premise, and how far along are you on this project? Well, we're like kind of like in the finishing writing stage of the project, and then putting it really together. I'm kind of been exploring Jerusalem because the film takes place in Jerusalem, and I'll be filming in Jerusalem. And it's really just about, it's something that happened to me. My dad had cancer, and I thought he was dying, and his dying wish to me was for me to go back home and get married for him, and I did it for him because I thought the guy was dying. And I ended up in Tulkarm. Make a long story short, got into an arranged marriage. Within 2 days, I broke it off. Her family wasn't so happy. I had to kind of like run out of there.
Sensitive.
Very sensitive. So so the brother ended up wanting to kill me, and I ran out. And so I had like this fatwa over there, so I can't actually go back there. So that's kind of part of the movie. Like we talk about putting myself in the film. That's so like crazy parents talk me into getting married for them. So I did that. So that's part of the film. And then the other part is just really exploring what it feels like to be here as an Arab, and then, not really as an Arab, but as a New Yorker, really. So I think having that in a mix, and then religion is a big part of the next film. And it's just a crazier film. I just think it's just really crazy. It's a whacked out. It's
can you get
way
crazier
more.
With math, with
it's just
sex dolls and what have you?
I can get crazier. I'll get crazier. Trust me. I mean, this place is so crazy. The Middle East.
Sacha Baron Cohen is nothing on you now.
He's actually a genius, but this is just such a crazy region, and so I think anything that comes out of here that's nuts, I don't think people would question too much.
And your films have been featured at film festivals in Abu Dhabi, for instance, in Jerusalem. How are your films received in Arab countries and in Israel?
The Arabs will laugh at my films, but they will not acknowledge laughing at my films. So I think Abu Dhabi, it really did well with the audience. It's just the press. I mean, I was boycotted by the press because they thought I was advocating assimilation between the Arabs and the Jews. I mean, it's it's still a very sensitive subject. So me, as a New Yorker, telling these stories and then trying to bring them here doesn't usually go so smoothly. Especially with Arabs, which I always tell people I understand why Arabs kind of don't like what I'm doing, and running around saying shalom, having sex with Israeli girls is not politically correct right now. So,
well, I think that's the perfect note to end on. Ghazi, thank you very much for being here, and good luck on that new film.
Thank you.